everybody. How are you guys? Welcome to live number 2. It's Sunday, August 16th. I'm so excited to see all you guys here today. Thank you so much for coming. I'll give people a couple seconds to get organized and get online. It's been a big week. We had a huge eclipse that just happened this week, and the elders want to start talking about that, which is so funny because I'm not an astrologist at all. And the fact that they want to bring up these astrology things sometimes is kind of interesting to me. So I was actually really surprised that they brought that up as the biggest thing they wanted to talk about starting this week. And then I was also led to something really cool about teleportation. And so I'm going to get into that right after the eclipse as well. And then we'll get into your questions. So whatever questions you guys have today, can't wait to answer them. They can be about anything for people that haven't been here before. When you are asking a question, if you can please ask your question with all caps, that'll help me see it in the chat a little bit. Can you give me some information about my health? The first thing I'm going to say is, is there a certain aspect of your health that you're wondering about? If so, tell me about that. So just go ahead and do that in the first paragraph. Right? So instead of just saying, can you give me a question about my health? Maybe you want to say, I'm wondering about ridding myself of more inflammation. I've been working on that for the last 6 months. And how is that going? Can you ask the elders if they have any tips for me on something else I should be doing? This is what I have been doing. Something like that would be a much better question for me because I ground. Oh, thank you. I ground to your timelines, and I kind of open up your Akashic record, and I because we live on infinite timelines, and so it really helps me ground to this particular line of your essence and your etheric cord that connects you all the way through your past, present, and future. And happy fam, you can get these glasses. I have a link in my descriptions of my regular weekly videos. So many people comment about my glasses that I actually have an affiliate link where I might make like 50 cents or something on these glasses on Amazon. And that's where I get them. That's just the light reflecting. I'm like, why does it look like I have white spots on my glasses there and there? But that's from the light reflecting on them. So yeah, super excited to get started today. All right, well, let's get going with what the elders want to talk about this week as other people can join in, and we can keep going from there. And I have no idea how my fingernails got dirty when I took a shower right before I went to bed last night and made sure all my fingernails were super clean when I went to bed last night. And now I've got something under 2 of my fingernails already. Like, what's with that? Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, I have no idea, but I just grabbed something with my fireplace as I was cleaning. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah. Well, I have a wood stove right there. I was cleaning up around the base of that before I put my curtain up. And so like one little touch of anything over there and bam, I've got ashes underneath my fingernails. It's just kind of the elders just said, you're a nature girl. I am like one with nature. And I'm always out in nature. I'm always doing something in nature. And I you guys, before I start, I'll tell you this cool story about being out in nature. A couple nights ago with the Sasquatches, okay? I'm going to make a video about it soon. I always say soon, right? I have like 500 videos to get made. All right, so I'll start with this quick story. So I told the Sasquatches the night before I was going to go out to the woods that I was going to put aside time to spend time with them the next night. Because I usually, after I do my horse chores, I always have the choice of if I want to go out into the woods and check out what's going on with them out there where they live in the woods. And there's a lot of poison ivy and poison oak growing in there at this time of year, which I have now become aware of after catching it 3 times and 2 times really badly. So I only go out there to tromp around unless I have proper footwear on from the knees down. And when it's hot here in the summertime, I don't. So I have to make a point to put on boots and something taller. So I did that. I walked out after dark. I always go after dark. Now that some new people have moved into the neighborhood that are very aware, they're always out in their land doing stuff. They're not going to be out there in the daytime anymore. So now I'm kind of limited to nighttime. Well, I mean, they would be there, but they'd be cloaked or something. And I don't know. Anyway, I like to talk out loud to them and things. So I'm going out. And so I told them I was going to come out. So I'm going out and I'm walking, and all of a sudden, bam, in the middle of the pathway. Okay, so I'll back up. Somebody put a trail in these woods a year ago, and it's pretty wide. It's about, 12 feet wide, at least. So now that's since been growing back in. So it's got plants and things that are like waist high or chest high, even sometimes growing in underbrush and things growing back in. But it doesn't have any trees. They chopped down every single tree, 12 feet wide, and made a winding path through those woods. So there shouldn't be anything in there. And all of a sudden, bam! Oh, I should have brought it in. It's in my truck. Bam! About 3/4 of the way over the width of the trail, a stick is sticking up. And it just jumped out to me when I saw it. I'm like, whoa, that's from them. What's that? And I walked. I'm like, I'm trying to be objective. Trying to be objective. Okay, was this here? Could this have been here? Right? I always do all those things, and it's pretty much a no and a no, because it wasn't all the way to the edge of the trail. It was about 4 feet in from the edge of the trail. But to talk about all Sasquatches, they just said yes. All Sasquatches, I'm moving my microphone closer. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, so all Sasquatches always do something just a little bit off to make you wonder if it's them or your imagination. So he leaves it not right in the middle of the trail, but over on the edge. Just have to question myself, like, was that there? Was that not there? And I know it wasn't there. I go down this path all the time to check on them, like every few weeks at least. I go down at night and walk down and come back up. And I've been down there probably 50 times since the trail was made. And I know that wasn't there. So I pick it up. I put on record on my phone. I walk over to the thing. I'm like, okay, in the moment, you guys, in the moment, we're going to inspect this and see if it's actually growing in the ground or if it's loose. I go and I pull it up, and it's only in the ground this far. Like, that's it. Just this far in the ground. And the stick is up to about my armpits. And so I'm like, of course he just stuck it there for me. It was so great. He left me a present because I told him I was coming. They leave me presents in my horse corral all the time, like right between my gate and my horse corral as I'm walking in to the horse corral. And so I get gifts all the time from them. But that was a really cool one with the walking stick. And I don't know, I still haven't really settled on what the meaning of it is. Oh yeah, that's right. He just said the 8 of Wands card. That is true. Okay, let me look at this. I haven't looked it up yet to see what jumped out for me from him. Oh, the picture of it isn't in this book. I'll have to find you the card. I'll find it while I'm talking. The 8 of Wands card is a tarot card where all the cards are shoved in the ground except for one. The guy is holding on to one in front of him that he is actually kind of shoving that into the ground. Oh, perfect. It was towards the top of the stack. Okay, here's the 8 of Wands card. So, and here's my ashened fingernail for you guys. It just happened like 5 minutes before we start. Okay, so there's the card. It reminded me of that. I'm like, are you telling me a message from the 8 of Wands? So the 9 of Wands, sorry. I've still got to read the card and see what jumps out for me for a message from him. But that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, are you telling me a message from there? Or is he telling me one more year? Because we have all these signs, and I've done the video on that in the last month about all their messages about 2027. And so could it be like one more year? Because this is like, the 1st of August, and everything I felt was going to happen in 2027, they were telling me was going to be summertime of 2027, most of it. So yeah, really interesting. I'm just Googling to see, I'm just reading quick to see, the owl represents wisdom, a puzzle as she puzzles out the problem. Ah! She will see her way clear to wisdom and truth. Oh, that's so great. Okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Stuff with my personal journey. The elders, they've been telling me about something coming up for the last 20 years. And I originally thought that timeline was pointing towards solstice of 2026, but it didn't, because the thing that I'm working toward, it didn't happen yet. And I just went with the flow. I'm like, that just means I'm not translating it correctly. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. And so he just said, I'll see my way clear. And that's what the elders have been telling me too. They've been like, this time things feel different. Now you know the difference. And I do, actually. It's really interesting. Energetically, I can really feel a difference. I felt twinges that it wasn't going to happen, that nothing was going to happen yet. And then now I feel like, now I know when. Now I know what's going to happen. And he was just, isn't that cool? This is from the Sasquatches, people. People that are new to my channel, the Sasquatches are above us in consciousness, not below. They are people. We are genetically a hybrid of them and the Anunnaki originally. And then since then, we've been diluted with many aliens as well. So that's what we are. We are a melting pot. But we came from them. They are the original hominid on the earth, according to Bashar, who is an all-knowing alien that works with Darlanka. And so they're my teachers. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Okay, I talked about that for so long. I'm gonna have to do the other things quickly now, so we can get into questions and I don't bore people to death that are waiting to ask questions, so that they don't leave the live. Okay, thing they really want to hit on is the eclipse that happened. I didn't even know there was an eclipse happening this week. There's a big eclipse happening August 8th. Wasn't it? No, the 12th. August 12th, 2026. I'm like, okay, what's up with that? And so I had to look it up and Google it. And here it was a huge total eclipse that was in Spain, I think Greece, Italy, no, not Greece, Spain, and north from there. And I think Ireland, I think Iceland. Not exactly sure of the location, but I didn't look up the exact route of it, because that wasn't something that was important to my message. But it happened on August 12th, and I'm like, okay, why are you talking about this? And then I suddenly got the thought in my mind that it was connected with the big eclipse that I've talked about in my recent video with the Great Awakening video with the Sasquatches, Jesus, and the alien disclosure coming up 2020, everything pointing to 2027. So that's been like a month ago on my channel in the Great Awakening playlist. So I immediately felt like they were connecting the two eclipses together, and they're pointing to this block of time in between the two eclipses, not just like this eclipse was big. And that's basically what they were saying as well. They were confirming that. I did a reading. I'll show you my notes. I got all my stuff to tell you guys. And so they started with pointing out that this eclipse did a bunch of stuff energy-wise. So it shifted us in a really cool way. So this is really cool what it's doing. And also to point out, if we meditate while an eclipse is happening, apparently the energy is 1,000 times stronger than just regular energy. So that's amazing. So really important to do, and just kind of be in touch with nature, maybe go out in the nature, maybe plan a hike during an eclipse like that. And the elders just saying to tell people, no, it does not have to be happening where you are. The eclipse just has to be happening. If it's happening somewhere on the globe, the energy encompasses obviously the whole universe. It affects as a ripple effect out into the whole universe. So super cool on that. You experience that too, Star Orchid. You experience them sticking sticks. Well, yes, on the ground, yeah, or leaving leaving things. Yeah, you and I get the stuff left for us all the time. It's so cool. Uh, yeah, Betsy, thank you for telling me that again, because I was looking that up, and that the sun and moon were both in Leo during the eclipse, and that's huge too. I don't know. They just gave me a whiff about that. I don't know. They said that's for later. Okay, maybe I'll talk about that next week. I'll research what they want us to know specifically about it being in Leo. Since I'm not an astrologist, I don't know. So I've got to dig into that. But for this week, they wanted to talk about energy shifting. Uh, yeah, I know. Isn't that cool? They led me to that. Star Orchid said, good to know about the enhancement of energy during eclipses. I know. I never knew that either. They just led me to that in the last like 4 days. Some ad on my YouTube feeds was popping up before the video. And it's this guy talking about, come with me and meditate during the eclipse. We're doing a big group meditation. And I'm just asking him right now, well, why don't we talk about this before the eclipse? And they're saying, well, it's really about the energies that have shifted. Oh, okay. They said, well, it's because people think about the eclipse and it's done and they walk away and it's over. And we specifically brought it up for the week after the eclipse to let you know that it's not about that. It's about the shift in energy that happens as a residual of the eclipse. And so they want to bring awareness to that, and bring awareness to the idea that this is an ongoing permanent shift that just happened. And that's what they want to talk about. So this is really cool. So I started doing readings at this beautiful place I do readings at. Now I've 2 places in Minneapolis that have gifted me with the gift of being able to do readings there. The first was Megas Books and Herbs. Go check them out. Go shop at their store. They're in Minneapolis. The second one is Jewelweed. They're currently housed in Excelsior. And in 2018, I transitioned from Megas Books in Minneapolis out to Jewelweed, who is more in the West Metro. And the people coming in, I had a whole different vibe of people that came in there. All of a sudden, the elders just kept sending me one after another of people that were wanting to change their lives, but didn't know how to do it, didn't know where to start at all. So everybody was like confused and dazed for like 2 years. I don't know what I want to do. I just know I don't want to do what I do now. And I think they switched me to that location because there was a lot of younger age professional type people in that area that lived around there that were coming in telling me, I want to do something that I've never done in my life. It's creative and all this, but I don't dare quit. I don't know exactly what I would pick. I just know I'm not happy now. Okay, great. Then after that segment of time, we had another 2 or 3 years where people were like, I think I know what I want to do. And I had like, a couple hundred people come in over the course of the 2 years. I think I know what I want to do now. I think I know where I want to go. I think I want to quit my job. I think I want to go do that. Okay, great. Then after that, the next segment was everybody's coming in and saying that they're doing it. They're moving toward it. They're making the plans. They're breaking up with the person they're with. They're moving to a new town. They're quitting their job and doing a new job. So everything kind of started to be in action. They said this eclipse is actually shifting that even more now. And they said what we're going to get is a new focus that we haven't had before. And they said right now, we cannot ignore our calling and be distracted anymore. We're using excuses and we're distracting ourselves away from our true callings. That is what we've been doing too much of. They said it's no longer the time to be doing that. And I'll go through. Let me look at my notes quick because I might forget something important if I just extrapolate. So it was at the peak of the Perseid meteor shower as well, which was really important for the eclipse to be going on at the same time as that meteor shower. And it occurred during sunset. That is so cool. You guys have got to look up this guy's, and if I could do a share on this, I would, but I'm using the YouTube live format until I get more sophisticated, and then I can share with you. But there was a guy skateboarding, and he comes up on he lined up with the eclipse at the full totality, and it's right on the horizon. And he put a big skateboard ramp in front of that. And then he comes up and he does an ollie, and he grabs his skateboard and does 2 tricks in the air and then comes back down. And then they filmed it in slow motion and played music to it. It was just like, oh my God, it was the coolest thing in the whole world. So that's really important. They wanted to let us know that's really important. And because of course it's, we can see the meteor shower even more if the totality is right at the horizon as well. And they want to say it's a doorway. This eclipse is a doorway opening. It's not a just, hey, one and done, and we had an eclipse, that's great. They said it's opening a doorway, and that we're going through that right now. And it says, if you don't feel sure of yourself, now you will. So that's what they're talking about. This is the final stage. And of everybody getting ready for the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening is when we're all in our places of what we're really supposed to be doing with our lives so that we can help the world in the way we're supposed to help the world. So many people are switching to a metaphysical career. They're quitting their corporate jobs. They're working in healing modalities. Many people are being called to healing modalities. So this is what's happening with this eclipse. It's setting us up to be able to do that. They said there's a lack of understanding. The elders were saying there's a lack of understanding of what this eclipse is about, what eclipses in general are about. And so they wanted to bring to us this new awareness of that. And Star Orchid said a new focus. I've been feeling the need for something, but that feels completely on the spot when you said it. Right. Yeah. And Oscar says the eclipse was powerful. I didn't feel a thing. That's how I am. If I'm not sitting watching it on camera, if I'm watching it on camera, then I'll totally feel it all through my chakras. But if I'm not, I have no idea it even happened. When I'm walking around that day, I'm like, oh, really? Okay. It's so funny. I don't know. It's the things I don't get. But they want to talk about, and they said, don't give up the fight. Try to regroup from now till the next eclipse. So what they want to say is this is our final push to doing what we want to do with our lives. And the energies are now in tune for us to be able to do that. And before it's been, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not sure. I just know I don't like what I'm doing. And so they're saying from now till next year's eclipse, they want us to really focus in on what we really want. And they're saying it's time to answer the true calling. It is not a time of distraction, but a time of building the foundation. So we really just got to start doing it, you guys. It's time to just put stuff in gear. And it said open a doorway to being able to share what we want to tell, that in the past we would have kept a secret. So they're talking about people openly talking about things now on the planet. Like all the YouTube videos I'm getting on my feed are all near-death experience videos. I'm really into that rabbit hole now. And tons of those coming up. Well, 20 years ago, people never even talked about those publicly. So people are now talking about things outwardly and publicly to other people that they would have been scared to talk about before. And we want to keep doing that. If something's on your heart that you feel you should tell your friend, or you should bring up in conversation, hey, yeah, the Sasquatch people are so great, aren't they? Like that. And people, did you know the Andromedans said that they're coming in 2027 publicly? Did you know that? Say it. Don't just bite your lip anymore. We're supposed to be doing that now. This is what this new eclipse has shifted for us. So that's great. And your true feelings. Speak your true feelings on your heart. Do not stuff them down anymore. It's not going to be good for you if you do that. You're going to be really, they just said, you're going to be really disjointed with the time of the Great Awakening, and you're going to have a lot of trauma from it if you're not already doing this stuff. We have to do this stuff, they just said, because it'll get us up to speed vibrationally with the momentum of the frequencies of reality. And so when the Great Awakening happens and everything starts going even faster at Mach speed with momentum and manifestation, we will not feel sick. We will not feel dizzy. We will not feel discombobulated. We'll be the ones in place that are ready to help those that are. Because most of the planet will be. 80% of the planet will be feeling that way, because 80% of them still aren't ready. So the more of us that are ready, the better. So that was the big message. Let's check if there's anything else. We must acclimate to the light. Yeah, okay. The light meaning the high vibrations of source. It just showed me a vision of that white light coming in from source, like the white light you go into when you die. They said we must acclimate to the light. So they said, always reach for the light every day when you're outside in the daytime. Like right now, it's a beautiful sunny day in Minnesota. I can see all these windows. I'm in front of a wall of windows looking out. And I'm just like feel compelled to reach up towards the source of that light. Move forward with determination. You have kept yourselves distracted from your true paths to do what you know you must. So, okay, awesome. Two other quick notes. On my last Great Awakening video, I stated that the Sasquatch people are giving me all those sticks and glyphs to discuss the prophecy of 2027 in the Bible under Daniel 9:24. And they're giving me the Hebrew letters that match the words that are the first two words of 9:24. I forget what the first two words are, but the first two words repeated twice lead to a timeline that this man Christian Wilder decoded to mean two different segments of 490 years that are not back to back. And the second group of 490 years started in 1300 something. Is that 490 years ago? And it goes to today, to 2027 is the 490th year. So he believes that's the year of the second coming of Jesus and Mary. And the Sasquatch people have been telling me that same message with their glyphs and sticks and shapes they've been giving me. So I just saw a post on Facebook from Jeremiah Byron, my friend that hosts Bigfoot Society podcast. I've been on there 2 times. You should go watch them. They're linked in my video under live appearances. You can watch them both and watch all of his other episodes because he's amazing. He puts out a new episode every day. And he said he's gotten numerous reports of people in men in black SUVs showing up whenever there's a sighting in the Oregon, Washington area by Mount Hood, over by Mount Hood. Whenever there's sightings over by Mount Hood, there's men in black that show up. And he said, I feel like we are on the cusp. It's very, very soon until we have full disclosure of the Sasquatch people and who they truly are. And I was like, whoa! Direct correlation with what I just reported about 6 weeks ago, or 4 or 5 weeks ago, in my same information that I feel like I'm getting as well. A disclosure of them is coming, and of course the elders want me to tell you, or the Sasquatch people want me to tell you about my vision of them. Yes, I do have a vision of Jesus and Mary doing like a news conference, streamed live around the world, and they're sitting with a panel of people that are Sasquatch interaction people that interact with them regularly. And then there's Sasquatches there too. There's like 4 or 5 Sasquatches all sitting in a row as well. And Jesus and Mary introduce the Sasquatch people to the world. And they just sit there and talk like they're people. They just go, hello. Yeah. And they just speak English and they just like talk. So, and I feel like the timing of that would be around, if I was going to guess, I'd say 2028. So anyway, yeah, that's what I felt. And so that was really, really cool correlation going on right there. And then another quick correlation I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, I chewed up a half hour again. How do I do that? I was only going to chew up like 10 minutes this week. Sorry, you guys. Well, you can fast forward this part if you don't want to hear all this, because I got to tell you the teleportation stuff. All right. So, yeah, would men in black show up in helicopters? Star Orchid asks. I don't know. He did not say they had come in helicopters, I think. I'll double check the post, but I believe he just said black SUVs. Mary, I don't know. Oscar asked, do Mary and Jesus return in all timelines? They just said no. Yeah, I mean, there are some of people absolutely don't believe that. I think there definitely would be some. There's infinite realities of Earth going on. So there's definitely some where some people never experience it at that time of their timeline. But of course, we can shift quantumly to any timeline we want at any time. So as soon as those people awaken, they're going to leave that version of themselves behind in that other timeline, and the awakened version of themselves will pop over to the timeline where it's happened. So it doesn't really matter. You're not locked into anything. Okay, so thank you, Star Orchid. She said, don't worry, you're very interesting. Okay, well, hopefully it is. Okay, we got to talk about the teleportation thing too. This goes back to my playlist. If you haven't watched the whole playlist, a lot of people don't know I have a whole playlist of videos about David Wilcock on my channel. You could go to that playlist as well. Check out all the videos on there because they go through a lot of information. And my third one, I think it is, says aliens used timeline shifting in order to pull off the suicide of David. This guy is having a past life regression done with, I was going to look up her last name. If you put past life teleportation Sarah into YouTube, you will get her channel. It might be Backlund, Sarah Backlund. I don't know, I'm guessing on, I feel like they just put that name in my head. I don't know, but she's great. Here, let me just look it up quick. It's right in my history on my YouTube channel. I'll find it for you guys. I want to make sure she gets credit for that. She is Breckman, Sarah Breckman. Okay. She was doing QHHT regression of a man, and she's like, okay, where are you? And then blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I'm in this place. I'm like, really olden days timeline. And he's a scout. He's scouting for things for the community that they need. But he's 1,000 miles away from where he lives. And she's like, how did you get there? 1,000 miles. That's a long way away. How'd you get there? And he's like, well, I just traveled there. I just traveled there instantly. And so she starts asking him questions, and he's explaining how he can teleport around the earth. And he's a scout. His job is to teleport to new locations around the earth and check for the things that they need. And then he goes back to his people and he tells them what he found there. And then they decide if it's something they need or not, and if they want to go and get it. And he's talking that when he teleports, and this ties in with David and the suicide. So I'll tell you. So he says, I just close my eyes and I'm just instantly in the other place. He goes, I focus on the other place. And that's what I've said before. If you just focus on something, that you go there. That's how the ships move around in the galaxy, is they just focus on where they want to go, and boom, they're there. And they go through the different portals and dimensions. And he kept one eye open and one eye shut, and he was trained to do this. And they're like, who trained you? Well, the people and there was people with gray skin, and there was people that were 8 feet tall, that were, I think he said they were blonde, and they were 8 feet tall. I'm like, the Nordics. And the Nordics work with the grays. Well, the Nordics are the Pleiadians. Okay, the Pleiadians, it sounds like the Pleiadians and the grays, which work together, from what I'm told, from what people say. We're teaching these people how to teleport, and they had to have specific genetic makeup in order to do it. I've heard that through the information from Ray at TLS as well, that only certain people on Earth can shapeshift, and they have to have a genetic makeup in order to shapeshift, which must be, they have to be a certain alien hybrid, or they have to have an alien lineage in order to do it, right? So these people, so this guy at this time could teleport. He would keep one eye open, one eye shut. He would envision where he was going. That the eye that's open would become blurred. He said it was like you go to sleep, but then you wake up in the other place. He said, but you didn't sleep, and it's instant. I'm just instantly gone. And I'm like, ta-da! Okay, ta-da! This is exactly what the Pleiadians explained they did when they staged David's suicide. To recap quickly, they said they had one alien shapeshift to look like David. So he wasn't really David, it was an alien. And he's the one that made the phone call. And then they had another copy of David that was a corpse, that was a DNA, an exact DNA duplicate, a clone with no soul in it, waiting in a different dimension. Just like the Sasquatch said, just like what we can do. When the Sasquatches leave only one footprint, that's what they're doing. They pop down in a dimension, they leave the footprint, they pop back out, and they do it for a little joke for us. So maybe other reasons too, but that's one reason. So they had a corpse in a different dimension waiting. The Pleiadian shoots off the gun. In that instant between the time that the bullet goes from the barrel of the gun into the head of the person it's going to hit, the Pleiadian disappears. They pop the corpse in place, and the corpse can be there for just an instant standing up, even though it doesn't have a soul. It can stand up for an instant because it's coming down into the dimension. Boom, in goes the bullet, splattered all over the place, to the ground it goes. Done. That's child's play to them. That is so easy for them to do. And this is one thing I just want to say. One more thing before we do questions. People don't get this. People will watch my video. They watch the whole thing, and then they'll say stuff like, but how does he do that if he's dead? You know, like, he's not dead. He was not the one that got shot. He did it. He was not there. His body was not the one there. That's how I wanted to recap that for everybody today. So, and thank you all for watching the videos, and thank you all for making all the comments. Make all the comments you wish. There's no bad comments. There's no stupid comments ever, because our brains have to comprehend all this information, and it's a lot of technical stuff sometimes. And it takes a while sometimes for everything to kind of click in and for us to understand all this stuff. And I sometimes have to hear it many times before it makes sense to me. I've been studying all this detailed stuff of the universe and the physics of the universe for many years. That's my main wheelhouse. So for me, I just, I caught on pretty quick to that. But for some people, they're like, but how does he do that if he doesn't have a body? And I'm like, or how does he continue to talk to you if he doesn't have a body? I'm like, well, it wasn't his body. It wasn't him. So people still believe the 3D so strongly that he's the one that made the phone calls, and he's the one that actually, committed suicide. But how could he not commit suicide if he committed suicide? And I'm like, because he didn't do it. They had shapeshifters standing in for him, and they didn't get shot either. So there you go. All right. Let's see if I'm caught up on any. Oh, thank you, Star Orchid. That'd be great. She said she needs to binge watch all my other videos now. Yeah, the cops. Oscar says the cops got a real kick out of that. Right, and they're going to be totally in the 3D on that. And so that's the test. David just said that's the test. That is the test, you guys. It's a 3D test. And that's why I was called to give this information out, because that's what the elders have been teaching me since 2007. My life has been a big 3D test. They have specifically done many things only through non-physical contact with me, and same with Jesus. Well, he's done both, but a lot of it has been only through 3D, through non-physical, of the information that I get, because I'm supposed to trust my psychic abilities as part of myself and part of who I am. I'm supposed to trust that dimension just as strongly as this physical one, because this physical one is just another form of dimensions. And when everything becomes physical, and then the fact that people still don't believe these things, right, until they become physical. We are still very physically oriented. We do still feel like we need to see it, right, in order for it to, and that's what we're all waiting for, right? We're all sitting here stuck here waiting. Oh, Jesus' second coming, Mary's second coming. It's like, it would be great if we could all just, and they said, yeah, Jesus and Mary said, yeah, I know, but it's still a 3D world. And so you guys are here to experience things tangibly. That's what this realm is for. So don't feel bad that you want to feel it and see it and touch it. Good, because that's what we're here to do. So if you guys want to start giving me your questions now, you can write them in all caps. I'll answer whatever you guys want to know. If you have a second question, wait until we get through the first round of questions that I see on the thing, in a kind of a quietness in the chat with no new questions coming up, and then we'll do second round questions for all of you guys. Please write your questions in all caps so I can see that it's a question. And so thank you. Singing Gross said, love your content. Thank you. So inspiring. Marie said, love the David series. Makes total sense. Lovely. So glad for him. Thank you so much. I love your energy. Thank you. All right. So we've got some time to grab up some questions right now. I've got a little delay in the chat, so you guys are probably all typing. I've got it set for a 7-second delay, so that I don't miss anything when people start talking all at the same time. So we'll see, unless you have no questions today, which I can't imagine that you guys would have no questions, since you can ask about absolutely anything that you want to ask about. I'm sure many of you are here for your questions. So we will continue on with that right now. As soon as something pops up, I have gotten through the information that I really wanted to get through for today. So I'll give you guys just a minute to get caught up and type out what you guys want to say. I hope there's no delay in the chat going on, because all of a sudden you guys are all just quiet. So you're either all typing up your questions, or I've jammed up and my internet's not working right. But I do see myself on the the camera. So maybe somebody can quick tell me on the chat that I'm not jammed up and that my internet is still on. Let me double check and make sure that, oh, I can't see behind me. Hopefully my internet's still working. If it's not, that would really be bad. Let's see. Yep, it looks like it's on. Okay, well, in the meantime, until that comes up, I'm going to ask for a card for the day from the elders. Oh, just right when I say that comes my first question. Okay, thank you, Suzanne, for letting me know I'm not locked up. Oh, and do you know about the recent moon attack? Okay, Marie, let me get to that quick, and then we'll get to Suzanne's question after that. Okay, so do you know about the recent moon attack on LOC? No, I don't know what LOC is. What would LOC be? LOC. I don't know what LOC is. You're going to have to give me some background information on that and put it in all caps, okay? So that I can know that it's an answer to something I asked you, okay? All right. Okay. Why only a few of us can see aliens? Okay, let's discuss that. In what way are you talking about? Are you talking about us seeing the unseen? Okay, are you talking about seeing aliens in the non-physical dimensions around us where we are interacting with them in a non-3D way? Or are you talking about only a few of us have aliens come to us and interact with us in this 3D reality where we could reach out and touch them? You said both. Okay, so why do they only interact with a few people? Maybe they don't. Maybe we just don't remember. Oh my God! Yeah, that was. I'm gonna put it out on my next video. I'll just tell you quickly. One of my clients this week was taken on a ship, and she has no memory of it whatsoever until she did a hypnotic regression session, and bam, all the memories came back of it, and she couldn't remember it. What triggered the memory was that her husband had taken a picture of her and her sons. And when they got the photo developed, this was like 20, 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago now. I think it was about 40 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 1979, she said it happened. When they got the film developed, they weren't in the picture. It was just the scenery without them in there. So they were prompted to ask why that happened. And that prompted the past life regression session, which prompted her remembering they had been taken aboard a ship and were working with Grace. So you can have this stuff happen and not have any idea whatsoever of what is going on with you. So I do believe, so the first thing I feel like they were telling me was, and first of all, the aliens just said pre-life soul agreement. Okay, so first of all, you do have to have a soul agreement on the soul level that you are approving. And now they just said, and all you guys are going to say, I'm approving. It's not happening to me. So you just might not be remembering it. So the first parameter is you must remember it. In order for it to happen to you, remember, you must have agreement to say, yes, I will allow this to happen to me. Second thing is, you got to remember it. Third thing is, that's it, pretty much. And so I think that there's more going on than people really remember. And so, and as far, the aliens are saying and the aliens are saying we interact with who has soul agreements with us and who we have a reason to interact with. They said they don't just randomly pick people. They said, we want your genetic material, they just said. And so there's reasons for that. And they said intertwinings. They said there's starseed reasons where you might be a starseed, where you're often on another planet and they're working with you in this lifetime in Earth, and you've come to Earth and purposely to connect back with them with studies. So they said, basically, we're learning and studying. We have a purpose or an agenda. Why? And they said, but pretty soon we'll be everywhere talking to everyone. So hopefully that answers that question. And why only few? Yep. Okay. And Marie's answer was Lunar Operation Command based on the moon. It was on Dr. Sala. Really? I'm going back up to the question again. The question was, do you know about the recent moon attack? Okay, moon attack. Do you mean, I can read some energy on it. If you want me to do an energy read on it, give me a lot more details on it in all caps. so I can see it, because I don't know what a moon attack is. I don't know if you mean an attack from aliens that attacked, and whose base was it? Was it humans' base, or was it aliens' bases? So fill me in. Give me as much as you can on it, and I'll see what kind of energy read I can get on it. So no, and I'll have to write that down. It was on Dr. Sala. Okay, I don't know that channel, so I'll take a look at that later. Okay. So Star Orchid said, I had a vision and meditation about being able to teleport. Are you kidding me? Could it be a memory? I feel like it is. I had landed in Egypt among the giants with red hair. Oh, did you know that the red hair lineage is present in every single ethnicity of human beings on the planet? Even African Americans have redheaded people. And they say it's from them. It's from them breeding with us many, 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 many eons ago. And then, of course, from there, we breed on and breed on. And the African Americans are from a different alien race of aliens that has really dark skin. I saw them before. I've been wanting to recap who they are. If anybody knows who they are, write it in all caps. So, yeah, we're all just a melting pot. So, okay. And so definitely, and they told me to bring a generator to the Big Pyramid. They told you to bring a generator to the Big Pyramid. Bring a generator. So was that a message of what to do now, bringing a generator? Or was that in the past life they were telling you? I think the elders are saying it was in her past life. In the past life, they wanted her to bring a generator to the Big Pyramid. Interesting. I am getting that's an actual past life visitation that you did. I've done that in my meditations as well. It's super cool. You just jump around on timelines and have experiences from your past lives. So yeah, I'm going with a yes on that, Star Orchid. Really, really cool. Really, it would be great to go back and get even more information on that sometime. And people, if you guys have stuff like that happens to you and you want to do a deep dive reading with me, I do a lot of that in my readings where I have to have more time. I'll get what I can for you, Star Orchid, today, but sometimes I have to have time to be able to really get down into it. It takes me about an hour of my time sometimes to really, really fill in a whole picture. So I call it a deep dive reading. It's usually about an hour or longer. It can be a half hour or longer, but a half hour flies. So probably 45 minutes or longer is a good amount of time. But if you can't afford that all, then you can try a half hour. We can see what we can jam in a half an hour. And so I love to do that and really dig deep. So what I do is I'll go into your Akashic record in a deeper way. I'll talk to your higher self. And your higher self can explain what was going on, just like we do with David. I'm talking with David's higher self, right? So same thing, only with you and your life and your timeline. So feels really good for me, for you. I think it feels phenomenal. I'll see if anything else jumps out to me as we're going through the live. It is amazing, isn't it? Suzanne said that was amazing. I know. I would love to hear anything else you want to tell us about it. Feel free to write it in all caps. That's great. This is really working well, you guys, to do your comments to each other in bigs and smalls, and the things you want to tell me about your experiences or questions in all caps. That really helps me go back and find them later. So thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, Sarkis says it was an amazing experience. Absolutely. Yeah. And well, you didn't know that about the red hair people, huh, Sarkis? Yeah, I know. I just had that tidbit pop up. I don't know when I heard that. Gosh, I don't know. I might have got that on something on Gaia. So what's really fun about me doing my YouTube channel is that all these little tidbits that the elders lead me to during my day and all the research I've been doing, because I spend so much of my time researching all these different subjects having to do with the Great Awakening and humanity and where we're going and everything, to be able to pop them back out and filter them through in a narrow focus to talk with you guys about them is really great, because I'm saving you guys the eons of time that I'm spending doing this, and I can just extrapolate it back out and help other people with it. It's just so fun for me to be able to have that productivity and have my life be productive in that way. It's very, very, very fulfilling for me. Okay, Lunar Operation Command Base. Yeah, okay, got that. Yep. All right. Attack on Space Force. Okay, so Maria's coming. We're coming back to that now. Maria's saying attack on Space Force base from a time bubble pocket of negatives about 2 weeks ago. Attack on Space Force base. Whoa. Time bubble pocket of negatives. Are you talking about the reptilians? About 2 weeks ago. Attack on Space Force Base. Okay, I'm getting that happened because the people on the base, the people on the Space Force base, have been thinking about if they're ready. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready for the Great Awakening and all these aliens being disclosed? Are we ready for the infiltration of all the aliens? And so they manifested that experience so they can make sure that they're ready. Well, that's why that happened to them. So the universe gives you stuff you're ordering, and sometimes it's not exactly what you want or in a way that makes sense to you. But that's why that experience happened to them, so they can make sure that they are really, really ready. So it's kind of a practice run for them. Okay. All right. Yes. I have no reason that's not. Oh, okay, Suzanne. Well, Suzanne, what I would do if I were you is I would work on, that's kind of the elders are saying, work on meditating with a focus that you want to remember. Because I would not doubt that you are working with them. I've worked with several different breeds of aliens, different types of aliens. I should probably do a playlist of that on my YouTube channel. My experiences with aliens. I really need to get going on that. But God, you guys, these videos take a long time. I can only get so many done at a time. But yeah, I've worked with reptilians that shapeshift into looking like humans. I do believe I've had a reptilian hybrid baby. In one out-of-body experience, I looked down and I had a reptilian pushing against reptilian, like the high fins. What do you call them on the reptilians? You know, like on the backbone of a reptilian or their head, popping out of my stomach. And I was coming off of a ship like an ocean cruiser ship or something. But of course it was a spaceship, but my human mind made it into like a cruise ship. And I was backing down off of one of those with my mom in a lifeboat, and we're backing down. I looked down, I'm like, why do I have this pushing up against my stomach? And so I've always felt about that I was probably taken, had a hybrid baby, was put back. Don't have any I can't remember it at all on Earth. I've also worked with them in a positive manner many times. They taught me a lot of stuff about energy. They were my energy teachers in the astral dimension. I've had an experience where I was with Jesus in an out-of-body experience, and we were interacting with an alien with no head. And out of the top of his neck was a beam of light, super bright beam of light. And then where his head would be, there was like a black circle. I think I've done a video about that on my channel. I think I did that already. That's somewhere in there, because I remember making the visual of that. Anyway, yeah, lots of cool things. I've done lots of cool things in the astral dimension, only in that I'm aware of in the astral dimension. So, it's a great place to be. So when you're sleeping is a great time to do all that stuff. Really intend when you go to sleep that you want to astral travel, and that you want to remember what you're doing when you astral travel. So that should help that happen a little bit more for you more often. Okay. And Pinty says, oh, thank you so much, Suzanne. You're so nice for the compliment there. Sarah, I definitely need a reading with you. Well, yeah, I mean, that would be great for us to schedule that more of a deep dive time, because you probably have some pretty cool things for us to be unearthing there. Yeah, pretty cool. All right. Okay. Pinty9 said, when dreaming vivid dreams, is that usually a real experience? Okay, let's discuss that. I have a pretty deep background in out-of-body experiences. I was in a group on Yahoo back in the day when Yahoo groups were big, called the OBE group, because I was having so many crazy OBEs. I wanted to be able to get some of my questions answered. And this was back in 2007, the summer that the elders asked me to take my journey. As soon as I said yes to that, bam, it was crazy for a while there. So I've done that. I've read 3 books, Robert Monroe's books, all about out-of-body travel. Those are linked in my description of all my other regular weekly videos. You can see Robert Monroe's 3 books are linked in there that I read about out-of-body experiences, and they're really informative, like really informative books. I learned a lot from his stuff. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a super experienced out-of-body traveler, so much so that he started the Voyager Institute, which is for out-of-body travelers, and it's right here in the United States. And he was from the United States. He would practice. He would go out of body. He would go find somebody that was awake. He would pinch them. And then he would go back to his body. And then he would ask them if they felt anything. And he wouldn't tell them ahead of time he was doing it. And he actually gave a bruise to his friend. She's like, yeah, that hurt. What are you doing? and she got a big bruise from it. So yeah, he's a super cool guy. So there are some parameters to know if what you're doing is a dream matrix that your mind has created for you. And the elders are saying, there's really not that big of a difference. It's not really important to know the difference. Okay, it got to a point where I was just like, well, who cares? Who cares what it is? Who cares if it's a dream or not? Because for me, my dreams are also being created because of some form of reality I need to experience. I mean, it's just a different dimension. And so I respect my dreams just as much as I respect an out of body experience to be just as important to my consciousness. Okay, so out of body experiences, the stuff around you will be more vibrational. So to me, it feels nuclear reactive. If I'm really with another soul in an out of body experience, and that other soul is really there with me, they'll feel nuclear reactive. That's how I described it back in 2007. Then I figured it out after a few years thinking back on it. Oh, that's because they were vibrating. If they're alive and they're really there with you, they're going to be vibrating. If they're just being created as a holographic experience, the elders just said, well, that's going to vibrate too. Okay, it is, but it's going to be like a soulless vibrational experience. So it's not going to feel as real. So one time I was with like 4 or 5 people, and I could tell which ones were the real ones or which ones were just a hologram standing in, that my mind was creating them there. My mind was making them talk. Okay, so that's hard to tell the difference. Another couple things people say is, if you have 360-degree vision, that's totally a sign that you're in an out of body experience. If you're flying and you're not on the ground, or if you're levitating off the ground, that's also a really big indicator that you're in an out of body experience and not a dream state. So for me, the dreams kind of feel like when I wake up from the dream, it's kind of like untouchable, intangible, unfeelable. If I'm in an out of body experience, I feel like I felt it a lot more. So hopefully that can explain that answer. And who cares anyway? Take it all because your spirit guides could be giving you a dream matrix that as a run through of a dream. Doesn't, they just said that's humans' definition of what a dream is, that it's nothing, your human mind's making up the dream and all that. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Dreams can come also from our spirit guides running a sequence with us and running an exercise that they want us to have to do at night. So it's all good for me. It's all important. I think it's all important, in my opinion. So do that, Holly. Do what? Do a playlist that I said. You have to go back and see. Yeah. I should probably get on that. That's another one I have to rotate. But then I have to rotate every playlist. Every time I add a new playlist, I got to rotate. And right now I'm rotating 3 playlists. I'm doing 4 playlists right now. So I'm working on it, but I'm working on it. You guys are helping me be able to do this more full time. So that does give me more time. So I've really dedicated the last 6 months of my life. I've super dedicated to just my YouTube channel. And I just told the universe, you guys are going to have to just bring me the clients, because I don't have time. Like, I haven't gotten a newsletter out. I have such aspirations for a newsletter. I have so many people signing up on my website all the time that are subscribing to my website, but I have no time to get a newsletter out. So I'm just like, well, they said you're choosing to have no time. Exactly. I'm putting all my energy over to my YouTube channel because that's what I felt like I should do. And guess what, you guys? Okay, a quick side story, a quick flow story. The elders started nudging me about 6 months ago. You better kick ass on your YouTube channel and get going on that. You better start working and building that up. And I'm like, okay. That's always been calling me to make this my main thing. This is what I wanted to do since like 2016. I actually had a vision of actually having actual sessions with my clients and making like a library of real sessions, real segmented segments with clients, which is a fantastic vision. Maybe I'll still do that. So anyway, I thankfully, with my David Wilcox series, I got over to the level of monetization on YouTube, which is the 4,000 watch hours within 365 days. And so I got that huge hurdle done. Well, just this week, YouTube announced they're changing monetization rules now. Starting February 1st, 2027, you have to have 8,000 watch hours on your channel within the last year. And that's not views. It's not 8,000 views, 8,000 hours of people watching your videos for a total of 8,000 hours of watch time. That's double what we have to have now. And I just looked, and every single video I've ever done on my channel, and some of them have up almost, one of mine has almost 20,000 views on it, and one's with 10,000 views, one with 12,000 views, which are giving me lots of watch hours, right? I only have 7,500 watch hours in the last year. How these small channels are going to get to 8,000 watch hours, I have no clue. And I just went, wow, I live in my flow, man. I am like the elders and me. We're in a flow. And that's how to live. Follow what you, this is just driving me crazy. There, straighten that chain. That chain going crooked is driving me bonkers. So anyway, yeah, can you believe that? So that's what I've been doing since 2017. I've just followed what's loudest to me every day. Just live in my flow. And that's what I teach my clients to do. Long story. Let's get back to the questions. But anyway, pretty mind-blowing, huh? Okay. So oh, thank you, Libby. Thank you so much. She said I hit like button. Thank you so much. Okay. Star Orchid said, so the vision felt that I just popped in that time travel. They acknowledged me as I arrived. And I saw myself as a giant also. Whoa, I didn't even think about that. I thought I was part of the ride, but I was the one doing the teleport. Wow. Wow, Star Orchid. Wow. That means that you were an alien in that life. If you were a giant, you were an alien on Earth in that life. So, woo, that would be really, really cool to dig deeper into that. So keep going. And if you have anything new on that before you do the reading with me, if you get anything new in a meditation or something, feel free to pop it into the chat in a future live and update us on that. That's just amazing. I made a drawing of the generator. It was sort of granite. Okay, so wait a minute. You really did bring the generator over there? I thought it just ended at that point. Oh my gosh, that's really interesting because the Sasquatch people have asked me for quartz crystal. And that I didn't know anything about it. When they asked me about quartz crystal, I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'll try to get you some of that. And then I found out later that the quartz crystal is a huge generator on the earth of energy, and that the Sasquatch people apparently know that and work with that, and they work with the quartz crystal energy. And now you're saying that the generator was a sort of granite. So yeah, stones and minerals on the earth can be very much generators of energy for us. That's really interesting. Very, very interesting. And peace to you too, Libby of Light. Okay. So let me scroll down and see if I have any. Oh, here's another question. All right. J.R. Hoden said, my 79-year-old mom, Judy, just stumbled onto opening the pineal gland. Pretty sure mine is open as I astral travel and have precognition dreams. Absolutely. What advice do you have for her for opening hers? Lots of love. Okay. Let me see what I'm getting. Let me kind of tune into her timeline, tune into her. They are saying diet and exercise, certain foods, and to stay away from certain foods, certain chemicals in foods. So have her do some Googling on what types of things contribute to they said the bogging down of the energy of the pineal gland. I'm asking them, I'm like, is the calcification of the pineal gland really a thing, or is that just a human made up thing? I'm not sure on that because they kind of switched me right away over to energy being bogged down versus calcified. They're saying like, kind of like trying to read energy through water versus reading energy through air. It has to work so much harder to get to us through water than it does through air. So they said, have her imagine that she's just freeing herself and lightening her energy, getting lighter and brighter, lighter and brighter, lighter and brighter. And they said she doesn't have to concentrate just on her pineal gland. She can just take her whole body and imagine that she's incorporating more of her light body energy into her physical shell. So she needs to study that stuff. She needs to study incorporating light body energy into her physical experience. And they said a quick explanation of that would be to tell her that she's got the energy centers, and her crown chakra is her highest energy center in her body. Well, there's one above the crown chakra too, they're saying. Yeah, there is. I think there's like one up here or something. And so, but she brings in source energy through the crown. It comes in through the crown down into our body. So they're saying if she just thinks of that, bringing in source energy. So like she goes for a walk in nature, she's pulling in the energy of source. She is thinking, takes a deep breath in the middle of the day to take a break, and just thinks of pulling in source energy. There's just stuff like that, exercises like that to lighten and brighten, because they're basically just saying lighter and brighter, lighter and brighter, lighter and brighter, and then diet to go with that, the lighter diet, lighter, brighter diet. I know for me, I tried this. Okay, so like a couple days ago, I made this white bean cookie dough that you start with white beans, and I hadn't been to the grocery store for like 3 or 4 days at that point, and so I was out of my fruit. All right, I didn't have any fruit in the house, and so I was eating the white bean cookie dough, because that's like a meal. It's like super high in protein, but you make it taste fun like cookie dough. And so I was eating that. And usually at night, when I'm working late at night on the computer, I will eat grapes. Like that's my go-to thing. I buy 2 big hunks of grapes at a time at the store, like $10 worth of grapes at a time at the store. And I didn't have any grapes for several days. And right now even, I just feel really bogged down and sick right now, because I have not had fruit for a couple of days. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go today. I really do. Yeah, I got to pop into Walmart today at some point and get some more grapes, because I'm feeling really bogged down. So fruit is definitely one of my go-to foods that I eat a lot of. And there's a lot of people that are just fruitarians. That's all they eat is fruit. And there's a lot of study in science that we are actually designed just to eat fruit. But, vegetables are great too. Fruits, vegetables, plants. Plant-based diet is definitely a lot lighter than really heavy meats. And so, when in doubt, follow what the Pleiadians are doing, right? And they eat a plant-based only diet. Aliens are eating only plant-based diets. So I know there's a lot of people that do really well with, do your own thing. I'm not saying everybody needs to do the same thing. I'm not giving you guys telling all you guys what to do. Do what's aligned for you. Do what feels highest vibrating for you. So she can work on that. And they also just said her thoughts. Thoughts are the basis of everything. So keep your thoughts high and be excited about being led to new information about all of that. That's going to make her body lighter and brighter. And that's going to attract even more lighter and brighter things to her essence as well at the same time. So they said it's all a system. It is. It all works together. Just like the work I do on horses' hooves. I have another website called Holly Burns Equine, and I help people rehabilitate horses' hooves. And that's a system as well. Every little piece of the horse's hoof has to be in place, or it doesn't work. Just like the human body, everything in our human bodies needs to be in balance, or it doesn't work to its highest vibration. So there you go. And the elders just said, and watch my channel. That's good too. Watch my channel. Get the consciousness coaching information on my channel. Yeah, it's great. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, we're caught up on questions. Okay. So Suzanne said, wish you all the love and success. This will happen for you. Thank you so much. The moon news was also on Ismael Perez. Really? Okay. Interesting. Well, that's why it happened, because they're manifesting. Am I ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. I don't have any other first round questions. So if anybody has a second round question, I'm open to any questions that you guys want to throw on right now. It's free for all time. Throw on anything that you want. And whether it's first or second, I'll just take it until we're done with questions for today. And we'll see where we go. Okay. Star Orchid said number 2. Oh, that's so cool. You put a number 2 in front of it. That's so smart. Love it. Okay, I'll get to yours first, and then we'll do J.R. Hoden's next question. Okay, what do you feel my work with Sasquatch is? Star Orchid said. Okay, well, initially I definitely they said a steward. I mean, right now you're a steward. I do feel like you are related to them really closely, just like my friend Tom Control was. He's coming back as a Sasquatch in his next lifetime, and he's going to cross the bridge between them and us, and I'm going to remember him and recognize him when he comes back in his Sasquatch body. And he's going to remember being a human, and he's going to remember being Tom. And so that's going to be that's going to be some cool videos on the channel, huh? So that's kind of what you're here for, is to just help humanity understand consciousness. And Sasquatch people are, what they want to do is they want to be able to live peacefully. And in order to do that, they kind of need the humans to be able to understand them and understand who they are so that they can have a peaceful coexistence, they just said. And so you're here to help move humanity toward that goal, basically. And also to work with them with their energy. They're energy teachers for you. So let them teach you. They just said alchemy. So let them teach you everything they can teach you about alchemy. And basically like working with energy, all things working with energy and how to manifest and things like that. So that's a big thing you're supposed to do with them. Okay. And Jared, thank you, Holly. Just follow-up information. Yeah, get out of here. She loves to eat frozen grapes and sauerkraut. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Not together. Well, yeah, actually that might be good. I don't know. It might be good. Throwing grapes in different things can be quite amazing sometimes. They go with so many different foods. You are welcome so much for all the David Wilcock info. Okay, Libby just asked, Holly, am I a star seed or light worker? Oh, okay. Let's see. The elders kind of said, like, if you want to be a light worker, you can be a light worker. They're like anybody on the earth that wants to become a light worker, even if they haven't been previously. They said, we don't hold anything back from you. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. And they said pretty much everybody's a starseed, because pretty much everybody has incarnated around different places around the universe. However, some have more stronger recent experiences, even though everything's happening all at once and time isn't really linear, but they're saying more recent because they said, because when you're in your incarnation, it will feel more recent because they'll like put those louder on your timeline. They'll put those experiences louder for you. So those experiences where you were on another planet doing something on a different planet will be loudest. And so I need to tune into your energy a little bit more to know for sure, Libby, if you're a starseed. I don't have enough information. So if you want to give me anything more about why do you feel like you're a starseed? Have you ever had any visions or anything like that related to anything having to do with another planet or aliens or anything like that? Let me know that kind of stuff so I can read your timeline a little bit better. Because right now I'm just kind of blank on it. I need to get more info from you. Sorry. When I move, sometimes I kick my table with my knee and it makes my earthquake. No, just kidding. Makes my table jiggle around. Okay. All right. Yeah. So tell me some more information, Libby, about you. I'll look for your all caps answer. Okay. Everything got it. Okay. Star Orchid said everything got ignited strongly with your last videos. Oh, that's so awesome. That's wonderful. And get out. Star Orchid said, I've asked them to teach me all they could. I'm ready to receive. That's so great, because they just said they're here to be your teacher. So that is fantastic. I love it when we get correlations like that. When I don't know anything about your end of it, I get my answer and it's exactly the same as what you already have or have gotten. So love it. That's awesome. So yeah, keep going. Yeah. And yeah, okay. Yeah, and they said, it doesn't really matter if you feel like you're a starseed or not, or a light worker or not. They're like, just be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. They're like, those are all gateways, or like, as Bashar calls them, permission slips to be a certain way. They're like, do I have permission to be a starseed? Do I have permission to be a light worker? Well, and they're like, you don't need our permission. They're like, you live in infinite dimensions and infinite realities. So if you want to be a starseed, you can travel to the version of you that is and take over that reality and jump over to that one, and boom, there you are. For all you know, you weren't in your last one and you just popped over here now, and now you are. Because we're traveling and changing dimensions constantly throughout our day, all day long, and we don't remember the memories from the other dimension. So you can't tell what you've been doing. So I always just say, Give yourself the permission slip to do what you want to do and go where you want to go. Go kill it. Go out there and kill it. Okay, Oscar, do I have strong Pleiadian roots as I think I do? Well, most of the time, I can't think of a time right now when I was working with a client where they have come in and asked something that specific and I've gotten to know about it. I've every single time they come in and ask me that, if they're already getting that, that's indication that they're getting telepathic information from that group of souls or their spirit guides or some sort of guidance, some sort of non-physical souls that want to talk to them about that. So that's why you're getting the thoughts in the first place, because they just said, where do you think the thoughts are coming from? They're coming from us telling you, hey, remember when we did this one thing? So yeah, that's a thing right there in the first place. So what I would do, and I've learned to do this from working with the elders. After I get something so many times, I just put it in the done folder. Here's my folder right here. I just put it in the done folder. It's done. It's over there. That's done. Okay. I'm just saying I am. And then I go through life just thinking I am. And if I'm not, I'll find out. Because if I'm not supposed to think that, or I don't have any memories whatsoever, then I'm going to start getting thoughts about that. And they're going to say, oh, no, that's not quite it. No, we didn't mean that. We meant this over here. Come be over here. Think this, So I just that's a great way to test it. Just put it over there and see if you get any contrasting information over on the other side of it. And most of the time you'll find you just get reinforcing. The more, if you put it in the done pile, I find that you get more reinforcement as well. And that's great to have more stuff come to make that even louder, more confident. So that's the step I would say to take for sure with you, because you wouldn't have had enough inclination to even ask me about it and bring it up and all that stuff if you weren't. So the aliens just said, it's not a question with all you guys here if you were. The question is, who are you? Do you know who you're working with? Do you know where you've been? Do you have memories of where you've been? And so it's kind of like a yes for pretty much anybody that's asking me here on the channel, because that's why you got here, because you're already in that frequency. So, okay. Pleiadian roots. Okay, do I have strong Pleiadian roots as I think I do? Okay. Yeah, and I went off the tangent about being a den pile people. Let me just check the Pleiadian for you. Well, I feel like since you found me, and we've got the whole Pleiadian thing in here with David Wilcock going on, that would be a big indicator that you probably do. I'm just thinking if I can do it now, or I could definitely do it in a reading where I would sit down and say, who does he feel, what do you guys want to tell him about that, and who wants to speak and who wants to talk, and see who wants to come forward. So I could definitely find all that out and get more information about what you're doing. And I would ask things about, okay, if I do, what am I doing there? What can I do to remember it better? Do you have any memories? Do you have any, or do you just have a feeling? Do you have any specific flashbacks that ever come back, or dreams or experiences that happen where you're like, yeah, or you're just kind of like, yeah, I just feel really connected to them? Well, it definitely wouldn't be surprising, since the Pleiadians are so prevalent on Earth as well. So I'm not feeling any dissonant energy whatsoever about that idea, Oscar, as well. The elders just pointed out. They just want to tell you that Holly's not getting anything contrary to it. I don't get a zap. When something is incorrect, not, if you want to say incorrect, when something is not the way somebody states it to be, I'll get an instant zap, a negative piece of energy, because the energy field is dissonant from that information, which means it's untrue. So yeah, I'm going with a yes on that for you after testing that back and forth a few times. All right, JR. Okay. Okay. JR Horton is writing a question for him or herself now. I'm writing a question for myself using my mom's phone. Okay. I have dreams when falling asleep of being healed by aliens, like I'm awake, and I can glean when they are coming. I think maybe you meant, and I can feel when they're coming. Is that a thing, Amy? Okay, Amy said, okay, Amy. Okay, I'm writing a question for my, okay, okay. I have dreams when falling asleep of being healed by aliens, like I'm awake. And I can feel when they're coming. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'm getting that those are flashbacks that's happening when you're having that happen, the healed by the aliens, when you're starting to fall asleep. It came to me, I just remote viewed that like a boom, like a flashback. When you're watching a movie and someone gets a flashback and they show the flashback on the movie screen, like that's what I'm getting for you. So you there's definitely something going on. I would definitely, and with the aliens, they do the same thing the spirit guides do. They will be subtle in the background until you make a move to want to work openly with them. And so I would tell them, okay, yep, okay, this is the thing. I got it. I want to work openly now with you guys. I want to continue on. Tell me more. Show me more. Come to me. Work with me in when I'm awake. Work with me in the daytime. I'm ready. So tell them that and see where that goes. Really interesting and fun. Do you know which ones they are? What do they look like? Tell us what they look like. Okay, Amy? I'll look for your all caps answer. It's probably hard to do all caps on a phone. So thank you for figuring that out and doing that. That helps a lot. Okay, Marie, not in all caps, but luckily I saw it. Can you tell me about my contact on Venus's moon? Okay, so what do you mean by contact on Venus moon? Do you mean that you had an experience while you were on Venus's moon? That's what I think that you're saying. Can you tell me about, I can tell you about it, but I don't know if I can tell you about it without any other information from that. So can you tell me, try to put it in all caps if you can remember, if it's easy for you to do that. Tell me a little bit more about the experience on Venus's moon so that I can get a better read on it for you and tell you more about it. It definitely feels like it was a thing, though. Definitely feels like it happened. I see you doing it. Feels like it's definitely there on your Akashic record. So give me a little bit more background information on that one, and I'll come back around to you. Okay. Oscar said, I think being that visited me as a child was from there and maybe a version of me. Ooh. Oh. Okay. You maybe saw a version of yourself as a Pleiadian that visited you as a child. Definitely, that's a yes for me for you. It's definitely related to you. The version of you, version of me. Yeah. Yep. Just like Bashar. Yep, just like Bashar's another version of Daryl Inca. I do believe that there's I'm getting a super connected soul connection between you and that Pleiadian that came to you. I'm seeing the dimension I'm viewing from is a male. The Pleiadian coming to you was a male. Is that what happened to you in this dimension? Because that's what I just remote viewed. It was a male Pleiadian that came to you. So that'd be really interesting to know. Did they say anything to you? Did they tell you anything when they came? What did you do? So I would love to get a little bit more on that so I can give you a little bit more of a read on solidifying that for you as well. Okay. I think that, okay. Yeah. And can you bring in David? Can I bring in David? Well, he's already popped in a few times into the reading. He just said, what do you want to know? So if you guys have a question for him, ask away and we will see if I can keep him on the line and get an answer back from you for you. Yeah, and he already did. I can't remember what it was, but like 20 minutes ago or something, he popped in and did say something in the live. So watch the replay to catch what he said earlier. A Sunday with Holly Debbie. You know what? I've thought about doing a question and answer session where people just ask David stuff. We could try that once. That would be really cool to do just a specific question and answers to David. Maybe we'll do that instead of maybe I'll start off with, maybe we should do that. Okay, maybe we should morph that into my next video that I get of my updates from David, and then we open it up for questions and we do like a live chat. Ooh, we could try that. We should probably do that. Okay, that sounds fun. Let's do that next. Okay, saves me a bunch of editing time. Good, that works for me. Let's do it. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, if it works for me next Sunday, I'll make it next Sunday. Let me see what I got. What have I got going for next Sunday on my calendar? I thought I had something, but I don't think I do right now. The 23rd. And what have I got the 23rd? Nothing that I can see right now. So as far as I can know right now, we could probably do that next weekend. I was just going to circle back around to, I've had some pretty crazy stuff with David happen so far. So let's do it. We'll make next weekend's a question and answer for David. We'll only open it up to David stuff. And then we'll go back to personal questions the week after that. So get your David questions ready for next week. Ooh, that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be great. Okay. Jer Hoden said again, now, is this Amy or JR? Well, who down? Because I think JR was, this is Amy. Okay, Amy. I was scared of aliens as a kid, but fascinated by them as an adult and been more open to receiving them. They hid more, and now I open my hand to them. I get like an IV often and think they're tall grays. Okay. The tall grays are the ones working, I believe, I think it's the tall grays that are the ones that work with the Pleiadians. And did you know that the grays, I don't know for sure the tall or the shorts, but the grays, we have to Google this and figure out which ones he says, if it's the talls or the shorts or both, that the grays are us as well. They're a version of us. And the only reason they're coming here is to get our genetic material to save their race, because they evolved to a point where they actually went, oops, we can't procreate anymore. They got so far away from humanness that they lost the ability to actually procreate manually with their own genetic DNA. And so they're bringing in humans and creating hybrids to continue their race, so their race can get back in again and get going again and be able to be a thing. And did you know that we are the only race and the only planet in the entire universe of this dimension's universes that have ever brought themselves to 5D, 4D to 5D reality, which is what we're doing now. They've never ascended to this high of a consciousness and be able to keep all their emotions like we have. We have such a wide range of emotions in these apparatuses, and it is unheard of to be able to go so low, but yet bring ourselves as an average frequency to as high as we are. So we are amazing. We are the coolest things in the universe, and that's why everybody's interested in us. And that's why all the aliens are watching us so closely right now. So pretty cool information. Okay, Marie wants to know, I astral travel there to Serent, to a home I share with my twin flame, but sometimes doubt it all. I doubt it all. Okay, now I was gonna write down who's asking what today. Oh yeah, okay, you were the Venus moon. Yep, I gotta write this down from now on. When I tell people to come back around with something, sometimes I forget who said what. Okay, that's really cool. Let me read this again. I astral travel there to Serant, to a home I share with my twin flame. Cool, but sometimes I doubt it all. I wouldn't doubt it. Feels really real for me, for you. Feels super cool. Absolutely. I'm going with a yes on that for you. Yep. Like I said, the elders just said, put it in the done pile or the done file. Put it over here in the done file and go with it from there. And then see if you get any conflicting information. From there, if you get conflicting information, then you'll have more clarity. But most of the time, you just get more reinforcement. More and more reinforcement. If you're confident enough to put something in the done pile, that usually means it stays there. Okay. Will he be bringing an angry daddy? Probably not. Maybe I'll hear it in the background. He's just laughing right now at that one. He thinks that's really funny because he's like, yeah, watch Holly try to do angry daddy. Yeah, I am not going to try to do angry daddy. That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah. I'll come with my cigar. All right. Okay. So Oscar said, us following up to his alien questions about the alien that came into his room. He just appeared to me in my room, and this was one where we felt like it was a Pleiadian. He just appeared to me in my room after I prayed in the school church I attend, and I was visited by what looked like an angel, but I was frightened. My apartment window was open, and it stood. Okay. I have had an out-of-body experience with angels before. It was unbelievable. I was in my bed. No, I wasn't in my bed. my husband was in the bed, and he was super, super sick. And I was asking for healing for my husband. This is a past life visit in a meditation. And all of a sudden there was 5 angels at the foot of his bed. And my point of view was looking at them, though. So somehow I was popped around, like looking at them from the same angle as my husband was. And their light was so bright, I couldn't even open my eyes. I couldn't even look at them directly. I had to look down because it was so blinding that I couldn't even look at their light. And I just like bowed. I just bowed to them. I was like, wow, just instantly reverent. It was so cool. And when the elders that we're talking with today, and whoever else pops into the reading, but they're always there. When they asked me to take my journey, they were like giving me a path of white light, like angelic light as well. And like they gave me like that white tunnel of light, like la. And they're like, do you want to step into this light and take this journey? Do you want to step into the light, step into the light, step into the light? And I'm like, well, yeah, that seems pretty cool for me. Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you're not up to speed with it, it'll make us afraid a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I've had a lot of things where I've been afraid of them. I've had a lot of astral experiences where I pop right back because I was scared of something. And I'm like, darn it anyway. Why'd I have to be scared of that? Why couldn't I have kicked her down and pushed through it? So it's okay. Don't beat yourself up for that. Just keep going and ask for more experiences. Okay. Oscar said in the moonlight. Oh, okay. Oh, it stood in the moonlight. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Really cool. So you can't give me any more physical appearance. Like, did it look like a Pleiadian, or did you think it was it looked like an angel. Okay. But I was frightened. My apartment window was open and it stood in the moonlight. Well, of course. I mean, yeah. I would be freaking out too if I was fully awake when something like that happened. I've never had anything like that happen when I'm besides the elders, but they didn't show themselves to me. So yeah, that would be just mind-blowing. Pleiadians can look like angels, so it's tough to say. Angel, spirit guide, Pleiadian. I've learned to not care so much about discerning that stuff either. It's like I just go with high-level being. It's like I don't know what the elders are. They won't tell me because the defining thing is too humanized. They don't like us to think so much in the box. They like us to just be more open. And so they have never told me. When I first met them, when they first started talking to me, I thought they were angels. And now I'm thinking, maybe they're just aliens. I don't know. Whoever they are, I know that they're super high vibrating, high level beings. I feel like they're like, yeah, I forgot. They're like, but wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I think they're the guys that help us plan our lives in between our lives. I think that's who they are. They're the council of elders, the master council that we go with and speak with. When we're in a life, we go have meetings with them about our lives during our life. And then we also plan our lives with them in between lives. And they're the ones that do our meeting after our life. And they tell us if we did good or bad on different things and point out things to us that we did well or not well in our life review. They're the ones that orchestrate the life review meetings, I believe is who they are. I keep forgetting that. That's who I think they are now. But who knows? I'm open. You gotta stay open to these things. Okay. Well, they said, well, you don't have to. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, some people do a really straight definition of who they're working with, and that's what they stick with. But they just said a belief is just a thought you keep on thinking. That is true. All a belief is a thought you keep on thinking. And look at science. Science changes its belief every 10 years. They come up with something new. Oh, this isn't this anymore. Now it's this. Okay. So, that's all this reality is. Okay. Suzanne said, I've asked to meet aliens and be friends, but nothing happened. My mind is blank. Okay. What I'm getting for you is, but nothing happened. They gave me a huge zap on that. Got to get off that frequency. If you're on the frequency of, but nothing happened, the universe thinks you're ordering up. Okay. So Suzanne wants to hang out with some aliens and then have absolutely no recollection that it happened. Okay, that's what we're giving her. That's what she wants. That's what she's ordering up. Okay, all right. So you got to get off that. You got to not care anymore. Well, you can care, but no attachment to the outcome. Just be open to just put this. Okay, this is what I would do. Just put yourself over to this frequency. I work with aliens. I talk with aliens. Aliens are around me. I interact with aliens. I'm an alien worker. I'm an alien communicator. I love working with it. I love talking with the aliens. Done. That's it. That's who you are. The more you're that, the more you'll start hearing them back. The more you'll start noticing a little sign from them. They might just make a butterfly fly around you. That's it. But before on the other frequency, you might not have noticed it. But now that you're on this frequency of consciousness, now you'll notice it. And you'll be like, oh, wow, look at that. I think that's from my alien friend. So they said, and they're purposely keeping it subtle because they wanted you. They just said, yes, that's part of your consciousness lesson. So they're waiting for you to get to a certain frequency and figure out this lesson and transcend this lesson before they will get a little bit more. Because they said, if we just came to everybody on Earth, they said, you humans, you want us just to come to you and be right in your face. And if we're not right in your face, then you don't count it as interacting with us or talking with us or being with us. And they're like, that's not going to help your consciousness ascend. So you need to just go there. You need to just go there without the experience first. Because they said you can't experience it unless you're already on the frequency of it. If you're not on that frequency, you can't download any reality from that. And you can't manifest reality on that frequency. The only realities you're manifesting are the ones that are on the frequencies that you're already on. So that's what they're telling you to try. And I bet you that'll change a lot of things for you. Okay. It disappeared shortly afterward. Okay. Well, doesn't really matter what it was. It's all cool. They're telling me. They're like, they're showing me it, and they're just like, yeah, like whoever it is, whoever I am, And they said that we could get more information on that for sure. Definitely. I could definitely dig into that in a reading and find out more for you past what I am right now. Or you could do that through meditation, and you could do that through your own set of cards. You could get your own deck of tarot cards and pull a card and say, please tell me who you were. Who are you? They just made this card jump out. It's interesting. Okay. 4 of Pentacles card. So apparently they were this person for you. That's like they're giving me this for themselves. So the person kind of has a turban on, could be like a spirit guide, or a Pleiadian, because, and when I said that, when I went, or a Pleiadian, it felt like this person channeled their voice right through me. So we're probably going with the Pleiadian, on that, probably, because I feel like this is their planet, and then they're wearing people clothes. They didn't give me like a card for an angel. They gave me more of a card for a person. So I'm going to go with Pleiadian on yours for right now. We can always dig in deeper in a reading and see if we get anything different, but that's what I'm going with for you on that. Okay. Yeah, Amy. Yep. Gotcha. Because I figured that because we were continuing on from your question above. So yes, I figured that out. Thank you so much. I think I need to make the chat go a little faster. I think I'm slowing it down too much. So, okay. And okay, now. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you're still Amy all the time. Okay, so J.R. Holden, Judy is asking that this is Amy, but wait, but now you said I'm old now, so I think we're going back to Judy, but maybe not. So tell me, yeah. I'm going to go with that. It's Judy talking with the question. Oh, you are Amy. Okay. Well, I didn't see you as old, Amy. Your energy came through so young. So I'm surprised, but they're saying old. Okay, I get it. Yeah. They just said they're like old, meaning an adult, but not an old person. Yeah, got it. Okay, all right. I'm old now and was once brought on a ship during dream state to meet a set of my kids. As odd as that sounds, maybe they're still working with me. Okay, that is not odd at all, Amy. You're 53 years old. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, you feel like your energy feels like you're about 25. So that's phenomenal. I love your energy. Very youthful. Okay. Well, Just so you know, that's very common, actually. Taking on a ship to meet your children is very common. And the reason they do that is because they need us for their kids in the first place, because they can't make their own kids anymore. And the reason why they can't make their own kids anymore is because they lost all their emotional ability. And so when they have the kids, they don't know how to nurture them. And since the kids are human hybrids, they need nurturing. So they bring the humans on board to be able to connect. So that and then from the future, then you'll also be thinking back about it, and you'll be thinking nurturing energy to your children and telepathically. And that also just keeps helping them, because your energy is always going to be connected with them now. And so, yeah, you're doing it to try to help them. Corey Good discusses this. That's where I learned that from, first of all, initially was from Corey Good. He, learned that they asked when he was on the ship, they asked him to take out the babies. The babies were like in these like cubbies, just sitting there, like he's like, you guys, you can't just put babies in a hole and have them just grow up. They have to be held and nurtured. And so they were like, what to do? What do we do with them? And then so he was like, you guys got to nurture these things. You can't. They're not going to be happy just laying there in a cubby. Isn't that crazy? But they didn't know. So yeah. Pretty crazy, right? So yeah, and I'm sure that maybe they're still working with you. Well, probably. If you're 53, I don't know. They probably took a whole bunch of eggs when you were young, and they probably don't need you anymore for that. They don't need to. They probably can freeze them and all that. So I don't know on that part, but that's definitely what I'm getting on the other part for sure. And Oscar said, what if you really want to meet Bigfoot? I think I'm ready and want to communicate and know some about them. That's easy. That's so easy. That's so easy. Now, but meeting them face to face, that's hard. That's really hard. But meeting them, it's easy. They're out and about. They'll let you know they are around you super easily. And they just said, you don't even have to be out and about. If you just reach out your energy and want to start working with us, they'll start leaving you stuff. Like, I get stuff in my yard, right in the middle of the yard, and I know they didn't physically come here and drop that thing in my yard. They pop in from another dimension and drop it down and pop back out, or they can just manifest that thing right there on the ground for me. They don't walk into my yard at night and put a stick on my yard and walk back up. They said, well, we do sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they can. So you could be anywhere, is my point. You can live anywhere and be anywhere and work with the Sasquatch people. If you want more of a tangible experience, then I would go to where they live. I would go to their environment. I love to do this in readings with people. They'll tell me, we'll go on Google Maps and we'll look at an area where they're either going to be soon or where they live now, and like where the people frequent or where they're going to be going. And so like a place where where they'll be geographically. Okay. Most of the time it's around where they live. So we'll look at where they live, and then I'll look around on the Google Maps around where you are, and I'll read the energy of the area around you and feel for where it feels the squatchiest. And then I'll tell you to go there. And that's what we do. And then I can start talking with that clan, and that clan can start saying, yes, this is what we would like, or if you gift us here, this is a good place to leave us a gift. Like they'll say, like, these are good places to gift us at, things like that. This is going to be a future video too, but I'll tell you this story. One of my clients decided she wanted to, well, she actually didn't decide. One of my clients was listening to my videos about Sasquatch, and she was super, super enthralled with them. And but she wasn't doing anything outwardly, but she was walking on her normal walk route. And she was at a county park near her home, walking last fall, late fall, up here in the Midwest. So it's like everything's brown, no leaves on trees anymore. It's really harder to meet up with them in person when there's no leaves on the trees. They'd be very much more elusive during that time of year. So it's broad daylight in the afternoon. She sees a little path down to the stream. She goes down to visit the stream. There's a clay pot sitting at the edge of the stream. She looks at the clay pot, adores the clay pot, turns back around, walks 20 minutes down the trail, comes back 20 minutes. So she's gone from that location for 40 minutes. Passing by that location on her way back 40 minutes later, suddenly the clay pot is in a different place. It's sitting on the edge of the trail, way not anywhere near where it was 40 minutes ago. And there's no one else out besides her and one old guy. That's the only two people she ever saw or met up with on the trail. And she did ask the guy, did you move that? And he looked at her like, are you crazy? And of course we knew exactly that it was the Sasquatch people saying hi to her and reaching out to her. She called me on the phone. She was ecstatic. We're going to do a video together on it when I get time and show pictures and everything. We got videos and pictures. And then I told her to look around that area, and lo and behold, they put the pot down right in front of a prolific structure area, just covered in structure. So I recommend you start off with also watch my playlist on my YouTube channel, Sasquatch Structure or Nature, How to Tell the Difference. I have, I'm working on building that playlist up, but I go into talking and explaining to you how you can see structure. So if I was going to go meet them, first of all, I look on Google Maps and I look at where I feel like their energy is going to be. Their energy is going to be in a place where they're going to have a habitat and good people watching. Okay. They need water. They need cover, forest, wild land where nobody lives, butted right up to people. Okay. That's rule number one. From there, I'll usually narrow it in and find little pockets where I feel like the energy is the strongest. And we can do that in a reading if you want to, or you can do that yourself on Google Maps. Then from there, then I would go there and I would look for places where I see their structures. And if I see a lot of big structures, that's where I'd hang out. So I'd go back there and I would frequent that location and I would just sit, spend some time, or go for a little walk deep off the path. Don't go where there's just paths. Walk in the woods, like go into the woods and follow a deer path or an animal path into the woods. And then just stop for a little bit and talk and just say, hello, how are you? You can say it telepathically or you can say it out loud. You can say, nice to meet you today. I'm so excited. You can also tell them you're coming ahead of time, telepathically warn them, tell them, hey, I'm coming to visit. I can't wait to see you guys. And then pay attention to everything around you. Because like I did this experience with my friend, year and a half ago or so now, I think it was. I need to make a video about that too. And we met up. He was coming to town and I said, oh, let's go squatching somewhere because he's he's really into Sasquatches too. So he lives 2 hours away from me, the other direction. And so we said, okay, let's just meet at a place of Sasquatch that's in between where we live. So you can just keep going home from there and I'll just drive back home. So we've never been there before. We looked on the map. I picked a hot spot. We went to the hot spot. We're walking. We went off path. We saw structures totally all the way on the path. Along the path, we saw all kinds of structures. And so then we went deep into the woods and then we just stood and talked. And we just said, hello, how are you? I said, hello, how are you? Nice to see you today. And all of a sudden, the wind started blowing and there was no wind that day. Like a breeze started blowing through the trees. I'm like, that's them. They're making that breeze. So it's that subtle. You have to be cognizant. And then they made like a duck sound and it was wintertime. I'm like, okay, well, there's no waterfowl in Minnesota in the wintertime. So we'll count. So, and then I counted how many times they made a sound. And then I said, okay, if that's you, can you make that sound again? And then like one would answer from over there. 3 from over here, 2 from over there. So they do the cat and mouse. My most recent video I just put out on my Sasquatch playlist as well, communicating with the Sasquatches. That's only been out for a couple days. That would also be a really good one for you to watch because I talk a lot about what happened to me in my first location, living with them 24/7, and you can get some ideas of what they do from there as well. So hopefully all those things will help increase your odds greatly. And if you want to meet them in person, face to face, the best chance of doing that would be to be out at night and a lot of hours and time until you feel comfortable. Tom Control used to go out with fried chicken and he'd go out into the middle of the woods in the middle of the daytime and he would just sit in one spot for like an hour or more. And he said after about an hour, he would see them peeping at him. So you can try daytime as well. I've always had the most luck seeing them at night. I've always just said, they're not going to show themselves to me in the daytime. And of course, Suzanne, that's me manifesting that too, right? I should be more like Tom Control. But my area is more residential. See, I'm not way out in the woods in the daytime. That's why I say, like, in the daytime, like, fat chance where I am right now, because I don't have enough woods. I've got to go deeper into the woods. I've got to find a place where I can go really off trail, more deep into the woods, and then they would be more of a chance. But they're not going to chance being seen by other people that aren't you interacting with them in the daytime. So hopefully all those tips will help. You go from there. Good. Let us know if you see one. Would love to see one. Have you tell us that you saw one. So, okay. Okay, Suzanne, you got the okay. Yeah. Same with me. We have to change our frequencies. Never say never. I could see one in the daytime. In a more of a residentialed up area with just small patches of woods, right? I have to definitely get myself on that frequency too. Of hey, they can appear out of a different dimension. They can come to me and pop right out again. So I need to open up to that more as well. Rather than them just being cloaked. I feel them around me all the time in the daytime, but I just know that they're cloaked, that they have their vibration set so high that we cannot physically see them. But my horses can, but I can't. Horses can though. I've got stories about that too. All right. Okay. One time we were going around the corner on a trail at this really squatchy place in Wisconsin. We were horse camping and it was just complete woods, 3,000 acres of woods. And we went around a sharp corner and both of our horses just went boom over to the right, like 5 feet. Luckily, neither one of us fell off. We knew exactly what they were jumping for too, and the Sasquatches were just gone so fast from our view that there's no way we could have seen them. But the horses saw them. Okay. What if you really want to, yeah, okay, yep, okay, next one. They did, Amy, make you hold them. Haha, direct correlation. Yes. Yeah, you feel like they stopped the baby train a few years back. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's how it all goes. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, yeah, interesting. All right. Soul Coach Suzanne made a statement. So grateful. I found you right after David's departure via extraction. Yes. I was grieving so deeply over what happened because I love David so much, closely following for 25 years. Wow, 25 years. Well, I'm glad you're aboard, and I'm glad that we're all working on this because I feel like it's really important work. And David's going to be like all over that when he gets back. And remember, when we do talk to David next week, it's going to be David's higher self. I have no idea if David's lower self has any idea what we're doing or not, but the Pleiadians do have the ability and technology to know what humans are doing down here. So if we're doing that, that could be a nudge that we're supposed to do that. And that could be huge. And David could come back and say, oh, you guys, I was watching your lives every week. Thank you so much for, doing that. So yeah, definitely. It's all cool. Okay, so Amy said, I'm in cool California visiting my mom and my dad. Hikes, yes. Would love that session with the big feet, I believe. Yes, absolutely. I would love to do that anytime. We should do that one time too, I guess. Probably we should do a week where we just ask Sasquatch questions. We should do that after the David one, huh? Yeah, let's talk about that. Maybe these are going to morph into some of those types of things. That could be really fun too. Maybe we should. Okay, they said let's do it. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll do that too. All right, I'm game. Okay. I have Sasquatch energy in my yard in the middle of a very big city. See, that's right, Star Orchid, and I've seen it. She's emailed me some of her things. I hope you don't mind me saying that. And yeah. It's amazing. Some of the amazing things. And you can find them, changing and manipulating and arching a tree in your backyard and be like, wait a minute, was it like that yesterday? I don't think that was. So yeah, be very aware. Very, very aware. Okay. Oscar says, do they frequent Central Park or Baisley Pond Park in New York City? Didn't I hear something lately that somebody said that there was somebody had a sighting of a Sasquatch in Central Park? They could be anywhere they want to be. I am not in control of where they are, and either are we. So if they want to pop down, one of my friends had an experience right in a town, and he was walking on a bike path, pedestrian path in town, and he heard bipedal footsteps following him, and he sped up, and they sped up, and he sped up, and they sped up some more. And he's like, yeah, they were a Sasquatch. It wasn't a human. It was definitely a Sasquatch. So they could be anywhere. And I thought for sure, I just saw something lately. I'm not familiar with the second park you were saying with Baisley Pond Park, but get this, they said to tell you this. I just had a commenter contact me, like, a month or two ago, or a commenter on my videos, and he said he's had very direct experiences with Sasquatch people, and he showed me structures, and I'm like, yeah, those are some pretty prolific structures, and they are in a park that is surrounded by like 8-lane interstate freeways in a huge metropolitan area. However, nearby is a huge state park and a big river. So there's habitat for them very close to there. Even though they can drop their energy down and drop back out, they tend to frequent places where they can physically go to and physically go back and forth to. They don't usually do their normal daily life by popping and popping out that I know of. I mean, there's a reason. I can always find a reason for why they'd be there, or a route that they can go back out to where they normally are when they're not people watching people or whatever. So this park is covered with structures, and it's just a small park that's landlocked. It's landlocked by city, but there's a little creek, and there's an underpass. They could go under the underpass and follow the creek bed, and the creek bed dumps into the big river. It's like there's a way. So if you can find a way in and a way out, many times you can find structures, and it'll shock the crap out of you. That one shocked that crap out of me. And that person also did a recording at night, left the digital recorder on all night, and does feel like they have recordings from nighttime. And I think I have that person's permission to share that information. Yeah, they did say I could. Yeah. So they have recordings of what they feel is Sasquatch children playing there, and so that's why they go there at night, because the Sasquatch children play there. Maybe they play on the playground equipment, maybe they play on the different activities they have for kids in that park. So pretty cool. I do want to Google quick. I just want to Google and see. I swear to God, I had has there ever been any reports of Sasquatch sightings within Central Park in New York City? Thursday, April 4th, 2004. A 6'7" figure in a full body Sasquatch suit. Oh, that's silly. Okay, I don't know. Google's not coming up with anything. I swear to God, though. I swear. I just recently saw something, and to ask them about that, I'm getting a blank on it right now from them. They're not just totally jumping in and telling me that they just said, hey, we can be anywhere we want to be. But so I'd have to look at the Google Maps on that and see if there's a way in or out from either one of those places. Because right now they're not like totally telling me anything on it without me digging in deeper and having to like open up a reading on it. So hopefully that helps a little bit, though. Okay. So I took photos of an area where I felt Bigfoot to be. When I looked on the phone, I saw what looked clearly like their profile. Later, when I looked at the photo, that Bigfoot wasn't there. Can they manipulate photos? I don't know if it's so much manipulating the photo as digital photography. Since digital photography has come into play, well, they're saying to me that it actually happened before digital photography as well. That is true. There's a lot of stuff that can happen there. Like, my client who was standing in the photograph as her husband was taking the picture, and then the picture gets developed and she's not in there. There's so many things that happen with pictures. I had it happen where I was on a trip and I took pictures, and I get home that night, me and my friend are looking, and all of a sudden there's these things all over in the pictures that we didn't see in real life, but vibrationally, I feel like they were on the vibration that the digital camera could see them and could show them up in the photograph. Like they would show up to the digital lens, but not to my human eye. So that can happen. I felt like these were elementals that were saying hello, and they were showing themselves to us in the photographs. And, of course, orbs will show up where you don't see an orb in person, and you go back and the orb shows up in the photo. So it's very common. And so I have a lot of friends that do a lot of stuff with photographs with Sasquatches, and they don't see anything in person, and they get home and they see stuff in their pictures. It's very, very, very common to analyze your pictures and see what you see. And just because you didn't see, they said, just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't there. So, the human eye can miss a lot of stuff as well. They want me to tell you about this experiment. They did this experiment where they had people throwing a ball to one another. So they put people in a circle. They had them all wear white t-shirts. And then they were throwing a ball back and forth to each other. And so they had to pay really close attention to catch the ball. And they were doing this. And then while they did this, they had somebody in a ape suit with a white t-shirt on, but they were an ape. But they were wearing a white t-shirt. They came and they intermixed and walked right by these people and walked out of the frame. And then after they were done, they asked the people, okay, so what happened in the experiment? What happened? What did you see? Not one person saw the ape person walk through. Not one person. So the human brain is trained to only see certain things at certain times. We are trained to see movement. If it's not moving, our eyes might not pick it up. So yes, the answer to all that is yes. All right. Next question. Suzanne said, I was praying to God, someone like you would look deeply at the potential of him being contacted ahead by his star family or alliance to rescue him from the impossible situation. You said, really? Interesting. Well, that's why you're in this reality then. That's why you're in this dimension right now. Suzanne says, I don't want to return to Earth anymore. No more reincarnation. I feel I have archived all emotions, good experience. I want to leave the Earth, not to be trapped. Okay. That's totally fine. They're saying you can. That was their answer. You can. Okay. Yeah, put down the list, Suzanne says. Yeah, thank you for all the tips, Oscar says. You're welcome. During the fires, okay, so Amy said, during the fires in Call, I worried Bigfoot and looked at the cloud formation, and it was in the shape of a Sasquatch. They were absolutely giving you a message with that. Do you think they communicate to each other with clouds? They don't need to. They don't need to communicate to each other with clouds. They can just communicate to each other telepathically, they said. But they said, they were giving you a sign that they're okay. For sure. Star Orchid said, I found out a few days back that the Lakotas call the Sasquatch people Chai Tanka, which means elder brother in a very respectful way. Ooh, I love that. And the name that I downloaded for the father of this clan is Tatankawa. I have no idea if that's really his name or not. That's just the name that came to my mind. So that's what I call him. That's pretty cool. Wow. That's cool. Thank you, Amy. My Sasquatch in the cloud picture was a profile image. Interesting. Very interesting. See, they don't do that stuff by chance. That totally ties in. With different person. That was Pim. Interesting. But they could be giving you a profile image because you were gonna be here today at this chat, and Pin I9 was saying that she had a profile image later in her photos. So I would not doubt you guys if they did that because they knew you two guys were going to meet up today. That's the kind of stuff they do, because they're always telling us ahead of time they know the future. So right there, that's what I'm getting from that. I'm getting a download that they knew you guys were going to talk today, and that's why they set that up, to let you know their consciousness level. If you are awake and aware, that's the stuff you get. If you're not awake and aware, you'll just miss it. They'll do it, but you're not going to catch any of it. You're not going to understand it. Singing Rose said, are there two suns? Oh, I don't know. I'm getting nothing on that right now. I'd have to dig into that. Are you saying like in this dimension, are there two suns right? Oh, well, apparently there's a sun in the center of our Earth. That's a second sun. Apparently, down inside the earth, there is another sun. That's what I'm getting for an answer. Other than that, I don't know about the other one. Okay. But they said, don't worry about it. There will always be a sun. So yeah, there'll always be something for us here. I'm not too, but that's very interesting. I'd have to sit down with that, do some Googling, read the energy, check the internet, see what I read, get reads on that. So it'd take me too long to do the outside of the earth, inner sun, second sun answer for you. But I could do it in a reading, but not on the live. So, but they did want to say the one inside the earth. So that's interesting. Okay, Amy, at the risk of asking too much, while on vacation in Mexico, well, you're the only one right now with the question. So we'll be wrapping this up pretty quick because we're at the 2-hour mark. At the risk of asking too much, while on vacay in Mexico, I started doing a channeling. I have a recall, and it scared my mom as it sounded like a Native American type language. I'm not a channeler. Okay, I started doing a channeling. Ah, that's cool. Super cool. The only reason it scares us is because it's new to us and we're not used to the vibration of it. Stuff used to scare me too. When I first started doing this kind of work or learning about metaphysical things, a lot of things seemed kind of weird, eerie, scary, whatever. And I realized it's because I wasn't a vibrational match for the experience at the time. I wasn't quite up to speed with the vibrations of the experience. So then it would feel weird to me. And otherwise, it's not going to feel weird. So it's just because your mom wasn't expecting that to come out of your mouth. And if it's a different person, channeling can feel eerie at first if we do it, because when someone else's energy comes out of us, it does vibrationally feel different. Like, don't you get kind of a twinge sometimes when Bashar comes through Daryl Anka and he starts talking and he says, hey, good day of your time, good day on this day of your time. And then when Abraham comes through and starts making their opening comments, when they first come in, it's like, you can feel that. So that's all. They were just feeling the difference. And you are a channeler because you did it. And we are all channelers every day, all day long. It's just to what degree are we channeling? So, when we channel more directly, more specifically, that's what you get. So yeah, super cool. You should work on that. That's really, really, really interesting. What did they say? Would love to see what was the message that they gave. Write it down for us. That would be really cool. Thank you, Amy. I would love to book a session with you and get more into some of that stuff with you. Thank you, Star Orchid, for thanking for the amazing live. Okay, so Holly, as you may recall, I'm doing fitness coach and yoga. Yep. What should I know or focus on with online all content creating? It's full of challenges. Okay. Boy, I just got a huge download of so many things you could do with that. I just got a blip. There's so many things you could do, like a daily presence, where you do a little blip and show tips and do things and say, this is the right way to do this move. This is the wrong way to do this move. For more tips and they said, okay, first of all, they want you to discuss what's your goal. Or do you want to bring people into your studio? Do you want to bring more students into an online program? Are you teaching only in person or are you teaching online? So first of all, figure out, what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish with using the internet? Okay. After you know that, then you can curtail your content to reaching goals. Don't just randomly throw stuff out there just because you feel like you should be online or whatever. Okay. But maybe you feel that because you feel like you should be advertising your presence and just letting people know you exist. So you got to decide, first of all, what you want to do. And if you want to do any online classes or something like that, that's a whole different ball game there. So it just kind of depends on what you're after with it. Okay. So, that took me a few years to figure out as well. Like, what do I want to do with the YouTube channel? How do I want to focus it? Where do I want to go with it? How do I want to use it? And it can take trial and error. It could take sometimes a few years to figure out exactly what you're here for. Like when I first started doing readings, it took me I started doing it professionally in 2016 after working for 10 years with friends and my guides myself, just working with myself and doing readings for friends. Then I started doing strangers I didn't even know. A little bit before that from people all over the world that were in Yahoo groups with me and things, but complete strangers in 2016. And I didn't really know exactly what kind of work I was here to do with that. But then the people came in and they started repeatedly having the same needs and the same wants and the same types of things missing that they weren't getting from the world that they needed to be educated on. And I realized my platform. So then I kind of started to figure out who I was as a practitioner and what things I was here to help the world with. So sometimes you just got to get in there and do it. And through the experiences of doing it, you kind of start to get, oh, that's what lights me on fire. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to help with. So find out what your fires are and then go from there. And you can ask follow-up questions about it later. We can dig in more later. So hopefully that will help. She literally hid under the covers from me. Oh, that's funny. Well, of course, it's going to feel very different for her. I mean, it's definitely going to feel different because the energy is a different person. It's energy. Like when I channel somebody accidentally, when I'm doing a reading for somebody, or like I just did a few minutes ago, some people like that when the Pleiadian came in, I wasn't planning on having a Pleiadian talk with me. And they just join in at the same moment and they say things with me. It feels different to me vibrationally. Like I feel their vibration coming out of my mouth. It just feels completely not me. So of course your mom's gonna freak out. She was not expecting that to happen at all. And okay, so it was in what she said was Indian chant. Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot that part. Yeah, and she did hide till it was over. I did not recall it. Of course, yeah, because it wasn't your kind of wasn't your language. I do not recall it, but we were on a beach that many indigenous people have died in battle. Ooh, you're just really in touch with that energy. Yeah, super cool. Well, we can in a reading sometime if you want to. We could find out who that was and what the message was that they were talking about, or why they channeled through you, or why you channeled with that person at that time. Why'd you hook up with them? But you were definitely a frequency match at the time, or it wouldn't have happened to you. That's really, really cool. I love that when people do that. Yeah, I've heard once in a while people just come through and they'll say something that's like not their native language, or we'll have out of body experiences where we understand a whole different language. Then we come back to our body and go, oh, I can't understand a thing that was being said anymore. It was a different language. But when we're in the out of body experience, we totally understand it. Isn't that cool? I love that. Okay. Right. Okay. There's a sun in the center of the earth, according to others. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, the Agarthians that rely on this to survive in the Shambhala. We will see, right? Yeah. I mean, I've heard about that too. It's crazy, isn't it? Even if maybe it's a parallel dimension that exists within the earth, and it's like you only can maybe if we dug through the earth and we would only find dirt and layers of rock and things. But because it's a parallel dimension that has all that in it, and we have to shift to that parallel dimension in order to experience that part of what's in the earth with the other sun. I don't know. But I definitely felt like it was a thing. Like there's civilizations and cities that never even come to the surface, and they don't need to because they have sunlight. And I'm like, what? That's the craziest thing. But the source of that was very credible to me. It had to be somebody that was like under hypnosis, their higher self was talking, or they were channeling an alien or something. It wasn't just somebody telling me that, or I wouldn't have put it in my done file. I take my sources very, I'm very particular about what sources I will take as credible for me. It has to be somebody in an all-knowing state or a higher level of consciousness for me to believe what they're saying about that. So it's probably a guest on Gaia, someone that's been there. I think I know some people that have been there, like they visited those civilizations. So it's pretty cool. All right. We're winding down. Okay, Betsy, you'll be my last question of the day. Okay, so thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much for the compliments. Oscar, I had found spiritual psychic, do my readers. And when she got serious, it was like a whole other person. Yeah, exactly. It's like a whole other person. Right. It is, because it is. And can you tell me my spirit guide's name? I believe a male Native American. Those are really hard for me. Those kind of questions are really hard for me because I feel like it's sometimes not up to me to get the name. It's up to you because that's what happened with me. I wanted to know about. I had went to my first psychic reading, and well, I had a few others, but not very many. But I went to go ask about who said my name because somebody said Holly outside my ear, and they whispered Holly, and I felt like a breath of wind out my ear, and I turned, and there was no one there, and I went to ask who that was, and the person reading me said that was your spirit guide, and I'm like, okay, and he said, to find out his name, you have to intend to know his name, and when you go to bed every night, when you go to sleep, just intend that you're going to find out your spirit guide's name. And so and then like shortly after that, when I was sleeping, I saw letters really up close, ANDRE. I'm like, okay. And he said the name Ander. I'm like, okay, your name's Ander. So many times when people ask me to ask their spirit guide's name, I get like this twinge, like, no, I can't. It's not my area. So, no, I can't. That's not my area. I can't quickly. It doesn't just pop into my head. So yeah, I would try in a longer reading setting. I would see if something popped in during the reading or whatever. But yeah, when people ask something really, really specific, and I want to just like zone right into it and get only that and that little piece of information, a lot of times I get a blockade on that. And so, because we can't just tell the all-knowing realm what to do when. I'm kind of more of a conduit, more of a channel, allowing them to say what they want to say when they want to say it, and being real open to that. And when I redirect my energy to say, can you tell me this exact thing that's really specific, that's one word, and if I get it wrong, I'm telling you the wrong information, and it's like one little word like that. That's really difficult for me to narrow in that closely and get that. But if you say something like, can you tell me, what my spirit guide likes is here to do with me, or what my like a bigger, broader thing where I can get a download of a whole bunch of information for them, then they'll start talking and they'll like rattle it all off to me. So sorry, no, I cannot get their name for you. Okay, one final question from Care Bear. Do Earth Angels know they are one? I had an Akashic record reading recently, and they said I'm an Earth Angel. Not necessarily, no. There's a lot of them that have no idea that they are. I think, because I can see their energy, read their energy, and I'm like, yeah, that person's like totally oblivious. They have no idea. So yeah, I don't know. Some do, some don't. There you go. You're not going to know for sure. Just like we said earlier today, just go with the fact that they're high vibrating beings, and we don't know exactly when it's time to know. It'll be time to know. Ooh, they just made that jump out. So that's interesting. Yeah, we'll end with that today. So thank you everybody so much for coming today. And next week, all right, next week we'll dig it in with David. The elders will be there as well because they never leave. So it'll be elders and David. The elders and David. So David just said, special guest. Yes, special guest David Wilcock. Or maybe that was the elders that said that. I can't remember. I have to go back now and read the energy. One of the two of them just said, special guest of the week, David Wilcock. So that's what we'll do. We'll have a special guest. So get your questions ready, and that'll be really fun. I'll really shorten up the current events part next time because I know you guys are going to have a ton of questions for David. So we won't go as long on that. We'll maybe just do like just one or two quick blips of if there's anything important that they want to talk about of the week's events, and then we'll go right into questions. So I'll allow more time for that. So, all right, you guys, we will see you next week. It's going to be really fun. Talk to you later. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.